So hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you all are doing well. So in this video is related to OOPS interview question and answers. So this video would be regarding 25 most asked interview question and answers of OOPS. If you go for any software company for the role of any software development or any engineering college where the main 25 OOPS interview questions which are basically repeated many times I have covered in this sheet or in this video, you can say. This PDF can act as a source of revision for you guys, so make sure you can watch this complete video before moving to or going to any interview process. So these 25 interview questions of OOPS will give you a great advantage to stay ahead from the rest of the candidates that you are applying for any role. So you can use it as a source of revision, you can use it as a source of exam, whatever you feel. But these 25 questions are the most asked interview questions in any interview process, which are previously repeated in many years. So this video would be regarding 25 most asked interview question of OOPS concepts. We would be covering this. Before this, I have also made a video related to 50 plus most asked interview question of OOPS same, so you can check that video as well. I would be giving the link of that as well. But these are the 25 questions that are really important, so not wasting much time, moving to the details and moving to the first question that is asked is, you can take the screenshot wherever you feel that this is the question that is most important. If you feel, though, if you feel, or else you can comment down that you need a complete PDF. I would be sharing the free PDF to download. I will share the link of that as well, but that for that you need to comment down below. Moving on to the first question that is asked in many interview processes, that what is OOPS. You can say OOPS is an abbreviated as object oriented programming system in which programs are considered as collections of objects. Each object is nothing but an instance of a class. I would be talking about a question and an answers that is been mentioned below. These are the simple, correct, and proper definition of the question that you are expected to give to an interviewer. So moving on to the second one, we have done with first question. So moving on to the second one, write basic concepts of OOPS. Following are the concepts of OOPS. You can describe it in well suitable manner with giving a logical examples with merging them with real world solutions. You can tell them that the four pillars of OOPS are abstraction, encapsulation, inheritance, and polymorphism. You can provide the details and definition of each term with good examples. Then moving on to the third one, what is class? So you can describe it in well suitable words, in your own words. No need to by heart or learn. You can basically tell him or her, an interviewer, that a class is nothing but it is a simply a representation of a type of object. Then it is a blueprint template that describes the details of an object. That's it. This is the best, sweet, and short answer. You should be clear, crystal clear, to your answers that you are giving to any question. As soon as the interviewer asks you any question, think of the question, revise, and make a note that what is the question asked, and give the proper answer to the each question with proper detailed explanation, with proper example, giving real world scenarios combine, and I tell him that these are the real world scenarios where you can use. uh, you can also draw a flowchart or a diagram. Then moving on to the fourth question, what is an object? An object is nothing but an instance of a class. It has its own state, behavior, and identity. So we have done with four questions. Moving on to the fifth question, which is what is encapsulation. So as we know, four pillars of OOPS. In that, one pillar is encapsulation. Encapsulation is nothing but it is an attribute of an object, and it contains all data which is hidden. The hidden data can be restricted to the members of that class. So the levels are public, protected, private, internal, and protected internal. Moving on to the sixth question, what is polymorphism? Polymorphism is nothing but assigning behavior or values in a class to something that was already declared in main class. Simple polymorphism takes more than one form. In general terms, you can describe it in well suitable manner according to your own words and description. So what is meant by polymorphism? You can give a rough example of some of the code that you can write on paper and explain him well in well suitable words, that it is nothing in your own words, like polymorphism is nothing that same behavior, different terms. generalized to some things and implemented differently. So this implementation thing should be different in polymorphism. You should explain that. Then what is inheritance? This is the next question, seventh question. We would be discussing 25 questions. So this one is seventh. What is inheritance? Inheritance is a concept where one class shares the structure and behavior defined in another class. In inheritance, applied to one class is called single inheritance, and if it depends on multiple classes, then it is called multiple inheritance. We can provide multiple uh, diagrams to type of inheritance that has been asked. If asked, then eighth one is we have covered inheritance. This is done. Then eighth one is what are manipulators. You can read this. Then explain the term constructor. You can explain what is constructor, where we use constructor, and why we need a constructor. These are the two basic rules that we need constructor. Then define destructor. Then you can tell destructor is a method which is automatically called when the object is made of scope or destroyed. Destructor name is also same as class name but with tilde symbol before the name. What is inline function? You can describe it in your own words. Moving on to the 12th question, what is virtual function? You can describe this, you can read this, what is virtual function basically. Then moving on to the third, which is most important, I would be discussing that. Which is not, you can read by yourself. Then what is friend function? You can read this. Then what is the function overloading? This is important one. You should know what is function overloading, what is function overriding, what are different types of overloading or overriding. So basically function overloading is a regular function where it can act, perform different tasks. It basically allows the creation of several methods with same name which differ from each other by the type of input and output function. 15th one is what is operator overloading. Operator overloading is a function where different operators are applied and depends on arguments. Operators can be used to pass through the function and it has its own precedence to execute. 16th question is what is an abstract class? This is the important one. You should know abstract keyword before this. Then in Java, basically abstract class or abstract keyword is a class which cannot be instantiated. Creation of object is not possible with an abstract class, but it can be inherited. You can also tell that abstract class can contain only an abstract method, where you can give an example of Java programming language where Java allows only abstract method in abstract class, while other languages allow non-abstract method as well. So moving on to the 17th one, what is ternary operator according to you? If asked, you can directly tell ternary operator is nothing but it is said to be an operator which takes three arguments. Argument and results are of different data types and it depends on the function. So basically you can explain in your own words that ternary operator which takes three arguments, argument result are of different data types and it depends on the function. The ternary operator is also called a conditional operator. Then the 18th question is what is use of finalize method? Finalize method helps to perform cleanup operation on resources which are not currently used. Finalize method is protected and it is accessible only through the class or by a derived class. 19th question would be what are different types of arguments? This is important question. Mark this or take a screenshot of this as well. So a parameter is a variable used during the declaration of the function or subroutine where arguments are passed to the function body and it should match the parameter defined. There are basically two types of arguments you can see. One is call by value and another is call by reference. You should know the definition of these two. Then you can explain him with well suitable examples or what are different types of arguments. What is super keyword? This is important, yeah. You should know this. What is super keyword? A super keyword is used to invoke the overridden method where overrides one of its superclass method. This keyword allows you to access overridden methods and also to access hidden members of the superclass. Then what is method overriding? We have covered. What is an interface? You should know what is interface. This is basic definition of interface that we use in Java. An interface is a collection of an abstract method. So basically if class implements an interface, it thereby inherits all the abstract method of that interface. So basically an interface is a collection of an abstract method. If class implements an interface, if thereby inherits all the abstract methods of an interface. Java use interface to implement multiple inheritance. What is exception handling? So an exception is an event that occurs during the execution of a program. Exception can be any type, runtime exception, error exception. Those exceptions are adequately handled through exception handling mechanism like try, catch, and throw keyword. This is a good answer for a good particular question that you can explain in what is exception handling. Moving on to the next question, what are tokens? Token is a basic entity you should know. If you have a CS graduate or an IT graduate, you must be studied compiler design. Yeah. So in the second or third year, you would be covering a compiler design topic where you would be knowing what is tokens and compiler. A compiler recognizes a token and it cannot be broken down into component elements. So it is the smallest entity of a program that is called token. So basically, keywords, identifiers, constants, and string literals and operators are example of tokens. Every punctuation characters are also considered as tokens. Example, brackets, commas, braces, and parentheses. So this is the last question of our video. So we would be covering only 25 questions most asked. In future, in next video, I would be bringing some of the most important questions related to Java interview question of core Java process. Then this is the last question of OOPS concept, that what is the main difference between overloading and overriding. You can explain the difference, you can draw a diagram, you can give a proper example of what is overloading and overriding with proper writing of a code example. Make sure you should write a good code for this. So basically overloading is nothing but it is a static binding, and whereas overriding is nothing, it is a dynamic binding. You must know how to give the differences. You should compare both and give a proper differentiate them with the help of the table. Then overloading is nothing but the same method with different arguments, and it may or may not return the equal value with same class itself. So overriding is the same method name with same arguments and return type associated with the class and its child class. You can provide this answer to the interviewer, it would be good. This is the expected answers for every question that is mentioned over here. If you want this PDF, you can comment down. I will be providing this PDF. For that, you have to comment down and like the video, and all the best for future opportunities. Stay ahead and stay tuned.